Welcome to 5 Minutes for Finance, where we give you important money management strategies for small business owners. Here's your host, David Worrell.
Hi, I'm David Worrell with another episode of 5 Minutes for Finance. Give me 5 minutes and I will teach you something cool about your company, accounting, or finance. Ready? Today's topic is one of my favorites. It is check fraud and how to avoid check fraud. So if you still mail paper checks, please take note. The leading way that people rip off small businesses today is by stealing paper checks. Did you know that just one paper check can not only wipe out your entire savings from your checking account, your corporate checking account, but it can also cause the bank to freeze all of your accounts because they've detected fraud, and now you can't use your accounts at all. You can't write payroll, you can't pay rent, you can't do anything. You are absolutely dead in the water until you solve this problem. So don't write paper checks. What do you do instead? I've got some tips. Best practices are avoid paper checks altogether by doing one of the following three things. Number one, sometimes you can use your online bank bill pay service. Now, not always, because some banking bill pay services simply write a check off of your account and stick it in the mail just like you would. I think that's silly. Bigger banks like Bank of America do it the right way. They take the money out of your account, they put it in a new account, and then they write a check off of their own checking account, right, on their own Bank of America paper and their Bank of America account number, so that when they send it, if it gets stolen, it's not your problem, it's the bank's problem, and the bank will fix whatever happens. So use bill pay online if your bank does it the right way. Number two, use an electronic transfer method for paying vendors or contractors. Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or credit card. My favorite, credit card. You get points and everything else, right? So I get it. Lots of people don't take a credit card. They should, but they don't. So if you can use one of these electronic transfer methods, Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, do that. Make sure you're keeping good track of your payments. You're still putting them into QuickBooks and all that good kind of stuff. But try one of the electronic transfer payment apps. If that doesn't work for you, there's actually even a better way. The safest number one way to make payments is ACH or wire. And actually, it's just ACH. Wire can get a little tricky sometimes. If you make a mistake on a wire, that money might be gone. It's really hard to withdraw, to pull it back. But ACH is an American clearinghouse, and it is for domestic banks, it is probably the safest and easiest way to transfer money reliably between two businesses in particular. So it takes a little effort. I signed up for ACH service this week from my bank, Town Bank in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yay, Town Bank. Didn't cost me anything. It'll be a couple of dollars per transaction, so there's that. But nonetheless, it's a safe, easy way. If I know your bank account number, I can now send you any amount of money that I need to directly out of my bank, no paper check involved. All right, what if you just have to write a paper check? I imagine there are instances, sometimes payroll, something like that. Well, the number one way to write a paper check and be safe is to use a gel pen. What? A gel pen? Yeah. All right, so gel pens turn out that they stain the fibers of the paper. That gel sinks into a check and stains the fibers in a way that's different than a ballpoint pen. Ballpoint ink, it turns out, floats on top of the paper, and it can be erased. It can be washed with nothing more than fingernail polish remover. So that's what these thieves do. They will steal your check out of the mailbox, wherever, and they will use fingernail polish remover to remove your name, remove the payee's name, remove the amount, and then they've got a check that they can use for anything they want. Guess what some of them do? They sell the check on the dark web. $45 today will buy you a washed check that you can then fill in your own name, make it out to yourself for $10,000 or $10 million, and present it to a bank and try to get paid. Now, you might end up in prison, but that doesn't stop everybody, does it? So use a gel pen if you're going to handwrite a check. Number two, take it to the post office or deliver it in person. Payroll checks, you've got employees in your business, hand them the check. Don't put it in the mail. Hand it to them. Say, thank you for your efforts this week. Here's your paycheck. It's hot. Go take it to the bank. Post office, instead of putting it in your personal outgoing mailbox, right? Whether it's at your house or your office, an office park, or even one of those blue bins on the corner, the blue post office boxes on the corner of the street, those are not safe places. Thieves can see that. You got that little red flag that you put up at the end of your driveway, right? That tells the postman to stop by and pick up the mail. It also tells the thief, stop by and take my mail. All right, you don't want to do that. The blue bins, turns out the post people have been held up at gunpoint, and thieves will take their master keys off of them. And with these master keys, they can open every blue bin in the city. They can open those massive banks of post boxes at office parks or apartment houses. And people have been stealing every piece of mail out of these giant mail repositories, sorting them out, taking the checks, washing the checks, and getting away with it. So don't trust the mail boxes. Take it to the post office. Now that still might mean it's going to sit in a in a mailbox on the other end on your vendor side. So the absolute best way, besides delivering in person, is to get what's called Positive Pay Treasury Services. That's a big word, but what it means is you're going to tell the bank every time you write a check. You're going to do a real-time online log or list of all the checks you write, who you write them to, what the check number was, and what the amount was. And then when that check is presented to the bank's going to compare that to the log. And if they see a check that doesn't match the log, guess what? They don't pay it. No problem. You've been saved from the whole fraud and embezzlement problem because the bank says, hang on a minute. David told us that he wrote a check to Joe for $25. This check is to Jennifer for $25,000. There's a discrepancy here. I'm not going to honor that check. That's called Positive Pay Treasury Services. Call your bank and say, I want to put Positive Pay on my business checking account. They'll know exactly what they mean. If they don't, ask for the Treasury Services Department of the bank, and those people will absolutely get it fixed up for you. So if you can't do any of these things, I don't know what to tell you. Cross your fingers, because check fraud is the largest problem that small businesses have, the largest and easiest way that small businesses get ripped off every year. 650,000 times it happened last year. 650,000 checks were stolen, washed, and redirected last year. So I hope that you'll take that advice to heart. My time is about up. My egg timer is done. So I am going to leave you and say, please subscribe. Please come back and see me again next week. And if you'd like to get in touch with me in the meantime, I'm at fusecfo.com or david@fusecfo.com. I really look forward to hearing from you and what you got to say. Tell me what your favorite next topic for this would be. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. Visit fusecfo.com for our social media channels and more.